Hello, I'm Diti Morgan, and today we continue to explore the legend of Pan, one of the most enigmatic figures in mythology. Was he merely a pastoral god of the wild, or was there something more profound about him? According to the Greek historian Herodotus, Pan was the most ancient of the gods. But what does it really mean? Herodotus, often called the father of history, makes an intriguing claim about Pan. In his book The Histories, he suggests that Pan predates even the Olympians. While Greek mythology often portrayed Pan as a rustic deity of shepherds, fertility, and untamed nature, Herodotus presents him as the ancient and primal force, one that exists over 17,000 years before his own time. This claim stems from Herodotus' exploration of the Egyptian ancient religion, where he equates Pan with the Egyptian god Min, a deity associated with fertility and creation. If this is true, this would make Pan one of the primordial deities, linking him to time even before Zeus and the Olympians. Could this mean that Pan was part of an older pre-Olympian tradition, perhaps an indigenous shamanic or animistic force that was later absorbed into Greek religion? Some scholars suggest this connection hints at the archaic worship of nature deities, being whose influence was so profound that their echoes persist in folk tradition even today. If Pan was such an ancient and powerful god, then what happened to him? Plutarch, writing centuries after Herodotus, tells a chilling story in the De facto or Calorum, the famous tale of Pan's death. A sailor named Samos, while traveling near the Greek island of Paxi, heard a divine voice cry out, "When you arrive at Palodes, take care to make it known that the great god Pan is dead." This proclamation sent a wave of fear and confusion throughout the Roman world under the rule of the Emperor Tiberius. The gods of antiquity were fading, and a new order was rising. Pan, the deity of the wild, the untamed, and the primal force of the nature, was being pursued into the shadows. His death was symbolic. The world of forests and groves was giving way to roads, settlements, and the empires. But was Pan truly dead, or did it simply retreat? A century after Plutarch, the traveler Pausanias recorded in his journals sacred shrines, grottos, and caves still devoted to Pan, suggesting that his worship had not ceased. Perhaps instead of dying, Pan chose exile. Some believe that Pan, knowing he had been demonized by the rise of Christianity, his goat-like form transformed into the archetype of Satan, deliberately vanished. He was no longer safe in the forest and the hill where he once roamed freely. Where did he go? According to the esoteric tradition, Pan submerged himself in the depths of the sea, hiding his presence from the new rulers of the world. He knew they would hunt him and track his scent across the land, where even the strong, overpowering mask of a male goat which can be intense and nearly unbearable, pales in comparison to the presence of half man, half goat, good. So he disappeared beneath the wave beyond the reach of mortal. I grew up on a farm and we used to have a goat pen. We used to have about 30 or 40 sheep, goats, not sheep, goats at the time for quite a few years. And I can tell you that goats as a whole are a very, very smelly, I would say even stinky animal. But a male goat, when he's on season, when he's on heat, is the most stinkiest animal you come across. It really, really, really smelly. So you imagine we've got not a male goat. You can smell it for quite a long, for a mile away. You know, you can just come to the farm and you'll know immediately it's a goat farm if there's a male goat in on heat there. So imagine Pan is not just a goat, he's a god. He's huge, he's a god. Imagine his he matches the stench that surround him. Really overpowering smell of animal pheromones. Really, really strong. The reason Pan chose to drown, to hide in the sea, is water masks all scent. They wash it away, and if he'll know that he cannot be on the land without being hunted down, so the sea will cover his scent. But what if Pan still walk among us? Ancient text speaks of the jittery bug cult, an elusive sect that believes Pan never died. The sacred scriptures tell of Kudra, a master perfumer, who created a fragrance known as the K23, a perfume designed to conceal the unmistakable scent of Pan. Because let's be honest, Pan is the god of wild nature, herds and flocks, and well, you know, as I said before, he stinks. Goats are not known for their delicate fragrance. Even the goat milk and goat cheese have a distinct smell. You immediately know it's a goat product. They have completely different scent to dairy, to cow's milk or buffalo milk or even sheep milk. They're very, very distinct smell. So, as I said before, the scent of the male goat is so overpowering that you'll understand why creating a perfume strong enough to mask Pan's presence was not a small task. She needed to really, really be creative in her methods and in the ingredients that she put into this perfume to make this powerful enough scent to cover the scent of Pan, so he can maybe walk among us. Creating a perfume suitable for a god is a serious task, especially when the goal is to hide one of the most pungent and musky deities around. You know, every time we make an offering oil or an offering perfume for God or for goddess, you'll put all your intention, all your blessing, all your prayers. You really make a ritual out of it or a ceremony to create a scent that you can offer to any god, any deity. So imagine You want to create not just an offering oil, you want to create a special oil or a special perfume, might be oil, it might be on alcohol based, depend, that will be strong enough to mask the really overpowering, incredible stench of the god Pan. Now, it wasn't stinky just to be stinky. There's a reason why they smell like this. This is like a very animalistic, strong, powerful scent of pheromone, our animal pheromone. It's undisputed if humans have pheromones or not. I'm not gonna even go into this, but even if we have, we don't really smell it. But animals do, and certain animals have a strong scent of pheromone that we actually um, harvest them. It's terrible, some of this, the way we do it. Harvest this type of from their glands for certain animal and use them for in perfumery. Maybe I'll talk about it. We'll make a whole episode about it in the future. But goats stink, especially male goats. This is how they stink to tell you that it's time to have it's the mating season and they need to mate. So as we said, it's a god, and this god wants and needs to mate. He stinks. So creating a perfume suitable for a god is a serious task, as I said. So Kudra had to draw upon the rarest botanical and richest resin and the most potent aromatic to weave a scent that could cloak Pan's very essence. Was the K23 simply a legend, or could it still be out there, hidden in the formula of ancient perfumers? Well, that's the mystery. And if if you got the book, you got the formula. The formula that I put together, because the original formula has lost, but all the followers of this particular cult, the Jitterbug cult, we all try to recreate the formula again and again and to make it better, and it's a mystery. But let's bring us to the story of Saint Bitterroot. And telling the story will shed a little light of the formula of this very, very special perfume, the K23 that dedicated for Pan. So the legend of Saint Bitterroot is we tell it now because a few weeks after Imbolg, we just, just a couple of weeks ago, on the 1st of February, we celebrated Imbolg, or Green Magic as we call it. In a couple of days, on February 14th, we celebrate the feast of Saint Bitterroot. This day honors the passionate encounter between Bitterroot and the god Pan, and highlights how the humble winter root, the beetroot, became a cornerstone of two of the most potent magical formula in history. So let's go about the birth of Bitterroot, a little bit of history. Bitterroot born in 640 CE. She was the younger sister of Saint Sexburger, which is a different story for another time. Unlike her esteemed sister, She was born out of wedlock and spent her life in a small, impoverished village in Essex. Her days were consumed in working in the beet fields, her hands stained in crimson from the roots she harvested. Her life was simple, though touched by an unspoken longing. One fateful day, she walked beneath a sky of the color of burnished gold. She was seized by an intoxicating aroma. The scent coiled around the air, thick and wild, making her head spin. She turned, searching for its source, and gasped. A man lay sleeping beside the great boulder at the heart of the field. Yet he was no ordinary man. His chest rose and fell with the steady breath of a beast at rest. His leg stretched before him, ending not in feet, but in a cloven hoofs. His curled horns caught the sunlight, casting spirals of shadow across the earth. Bitterroot stepped closer, her curiosity outweighing her fear, until she was nearly upon him. "Oh, what an exquisite goat!" she blurted, more to herself than to him. The words, innocent yet impetuous, startled him awake. In an instant, the figure was on his feet, his amber eyes looking into hers. The sense surrounding him was overwhelming. Musk and earth, cedarwood and something older, untamed, wild. The intensity of it struck her like a spell, and with a gasp, she fell backward, landing landing in the beetroot patch. As she lay there, a vision overtook her. Pan appeared before her, his form shimmering with radiance both devious and mischievous. He knelt beside her, his grin sharp as a crescent moon. "I will share a secret with you," he said, his voice like a rustling of leaves in the night. When she awoke, she found him crouching nearby, his golden eyes watching her with a quiet amusement. Without thinking, she reached for a beetroot, clutching it like a talisman. As she brought it to her nose, she realized that its sharp, earthen scent cut through Pan's musky aroma, balancing the chaos of his fragrances. Pan chuckled and seated himself upon the boulder, lifting a flute to his lips. A melody poured forth, winding through the air like a living thing. It pulsed through the field, stirring the plants and summoning bees and butterflies in a dance of golden light. The very earth beneath Bitterroot's hands seemed to hum with the song, and at that moment she understood. "I see," she whispered. Pan took her hand and kissed it gently. "Remember," he said, "the magical essence of the beet can only be gathered on this day, between sunrise and sunset. It will serve as the key ingredient in the invisibility potion, masking all things, from offensive odors to extraordinary phenomena. It is also the hidden component in the ancient formula used to call upon me." Then, like a mist of dawn, he was gone. From that day forward, The village beet harvest flourished beyond all expectation, producing roots so large and succulent that even the king sought them for his table. Bitterwater became a healer, weaving her newfound knowledge into medicinal elixirs and magical draughts. People People traveled from distant lands to seek her aid, whispering of her uncanny power and the strength warmth that forever lingered in her fields. Every year, on the morning of February 14th, Bitterwater would walk the fields before dawn, hoping to glimpse the god who had changed her fate. Though Pan never reappeared, the land always greeted her with a warm, golden haze, and from this mist she gathered the rarest ingredient of her potions and perfumes. On February 14th, CE 666, on February 14th, Christ era 666, Bitterwater entered her fields before dawn and was never seen again. Some claimed they saw her walking away with a figure whose length bent like those of a stag, his horn catching the moonlight as they vanished into the tree. In her memory, the villager painted a great boulder in the field, deep in crimson, a tribute to the goddess of the beetroot. Every year, on February 14th, they leave offering of beets and blossom at its base, honoring the woman who brought prosperity and mystery to their land. And if one listened closely on that sacred morning, a faint melody drifts through the air, wild, enchanting, and eternal. Across cultures, beetroot have long been revered for his supposed ability to ignite passion and desire. In ancient Greece, they were linked to Aphrodite, the goddess of love, pleasures, and fertility, whose legendary beauty was rumored to be sustained by this crimson root. So potent were its mystical property that the oracle of Delphi declared beets to be as valuable as silver, solidifying their status as food of both nourishment and enchantment. So, is Pan really gone, or is he simply waiting, watching from the hidden places of the world, masked by time, myth, and maybe even a little bit of perfume? The next time you walk through a forest and feel the rustling of leaves, hear the distant sound of a flute, or catch a faint scent of something wild, perhaps, just perhaps, Pan is closer than you think. So, on the 14th of February, sometime during the day, get yourself a beetroot. Maybe juice it and drink it, maybe make it a salad, or maybe just simply put it on the altar and invite Pan into your life. Invite the passion and the wildness and the aromatic craziness, if you like, of the forest, of this crazy half man, half god. So this is for tonight, and I shall see you next time, and I wish you a very, very good feast of Saint Peteruta. And For more details of the K23, you can read the formula, my formula of my version of the formula in the chapter Green Magic, or actually read the book The Jittery Bug Perfume by Tom Robbins. So have a good day, have a good weekend, and see you soon.